welcome to the Get Up and Glow podcast. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about how to be that girl, the ins and outs of being that girl, and the dark side of being that girl that nobody really talks about. So today I want to unpack and chat about the actions I personally take to feel like I'm becoming that girl, and how I give myself grace in the moments where I just absolutely cannot be that girl as much as I would love to be. So first off, let's talk about what it means to be that girl. We see it all over TikTok, all over Instagram, all over Pinterest. So what does it mean? To be that girl or that girl aesthetic essentially is a woman or a man who embodies that super healthy, active lifestyle, who basically is mentally and physically okay. So for instance, that girl, wakes up at 6 a.m., does a morning workout, drinks her green juice and lemon water before her morning iced coffee, and has the most beautiful matching workout sets with absolutely no stains on them, goes to Pilates, goes grocery shopping and shops for super healthy, very expensive meals, and is also really mentally self-aware. She's the type of person who gets up and journals every single day and does the mental work. Maybe she's in therapy, she is healing. But also the thing that nobody really seems to address is all over Instagram, all over TikTok, that girl is always super hot and almost unattainably so. That girl usually seems to be super, super thin, usually seems to have a lot of money to be able to afford, the Range Rover, the Pilates classes, the green juice. Can we talk about how expensive green juices are? Oh my gosh. And not only that, it almost seems like she has a whole lot of time on her hands, because I don't know about you, but I work a full-time job. I'm a 9-to-5 girly in marketing who works from home, so I have even more time because I don't commute, and I do not have the time to be that girl as much as I truly would love to be. So today we're going to talk about how to be that girl that's sustainable, a sustainable way, how we can be that girl and also be a normal person, living their 9-to-5 life, cleaning their apartment, and just giving themselves grace in easy and affordable ways. So first off, I want to talk about the ins and outs of being that girl. And for those of you who do not get the reference, the ins and outs was from a very popular 2000s movie called The Click. There's a whole book series about it where the main character, Massey Block, would essentially do the ins and outs of that day, meaning ins, of course, meaning what is in, what is good, and bad, or outs being what's not good anymore, what's not trending. So we are going to go and do the ins and outs of that girl, or the that girl aesthetic. So ins, to me, it is totally in how inspiring the that girl aesthetic is. I don't know about you, but when I just do not have the motivation, it's not even the motivation because I need to take a step back and chill, but just because I'm actually being lazy. That girl aesthetic, when I see those videos, it makes me want to get up. It makes me want to journal. It makes me want to do the self-work, the healing, to be healthier in a good, productive way for the most part. It also makes me want to be very goal-oriented in a way that is for the greater good of myself. It gives me a purpose of being that girl. I want to be healthy. I want to be mentally stable. And it makes me want to actually set those goals for myself and hold myself accountable for doing the actions that get me to that place. Also, what's totally in is glowing up your life from the inside out. I feel like that girl, the majority or the premise behind it is just to be a healthier, happier version of you. And that's something I totally can get behind. So now let's talk about the outs. So the outs of being that girl to me is always feeling like you want to max out your credit card completely and burn everything in your apartment and in your closet. I don't know about you, but every time I see a new that girl trend, I want to buy something. Whether it's a green juice or a new blender or all these new expensive athleisure outfits that I absolutely do not have the money for. But can we also just talk about how that girl's apartment always looks like it is some sort of bougie mansion in the city with all white furniture, all white pillows, just how? I'm on a thrifted charcoal gray couch that was passed down generously by my boyfriend's family, and I absolutely love it. It pops into a bed. It's good. Is it aesthetic? Not really. I have thrifted pillows behind me that are white to try to make it that girl aesthetic, and a blanket that was also passed down to me from my own mom. So thank you to both of my boyfriend and I's families for trying to contribute to somewhat of a that girl aesthetic. But if you are like me and absolutely cannot afford to buy thousands of dollars worth of new furniture with every trend, but you feel the pressure to, that is totally out. And that's something I do not want to channel into the that girl vibes. I think it can be very hard on people. And I've heard this from other people before too, where they just feel bad about themselves and everything they own, what their apartment looks like, because they want to feel like that girl. And they just don't. They think they can't be because they have Facebook Marketplace furniture, or because they thrift their clothes, or it's not everything from Aritzia and TNA. And that is okay. I'm here to tell you, you can absolutely be that girl on a budget. Thrift your stuff. You can make it like the that girl aesthetic into your own aesthetic, and like combine the two. Like the two doesn't, like they don't have to be separate. So do not feel bad about all of the furniture and all the clothes you have. Please absolutely do not buy a bunch of things that you do not need, because I'm not going to be the first to tell you that you're going to spend all this money on a brand new couch, and then 3 years later there's going to be a new trending couch and yours won't be it anymore. It just, that is with it. And unless you're making the amount of money where like you won't even blink an eye in that amount, like absolutely do not do that. You are doing fine, girly. The other thing that I think is out about that girl aesthetic is just overconsumption and the pressure to keep up with trends. The claw clips, the new skincare, the new lip oils, and I've totally fallen for it. Like, I am wearing the Emma Chamberlain Dior lip tint right now. And I feel like some things it's okay to give into trends, particularly if something that you've been really wanting for a while. But please, when you're trying to become that girl, don't just go out and buy everything on a whim. If you really want something, think about it for a while, at least 2 weeks, and then buy it, just to make sure you're just not buying something just because of a trend you think that will make you feel something. I know we often buy things because we think we're going to feel better, and then when it arrives, by the time it comes here, it's either not in style anymore or it doesn't make us feel as good as we really thought. So before you go and buy a bunch of things to become that girl, take a step back, try to thrift it first. It's more sustainable and more affordable, and also just make sure that you actually want the item and you're going to actually use it. The last thing I want to talk about the outs of being that girl is filming absolutely everything you do. I am so bad for this. Anything that is that girl vibes, where it's like working out or going to a healthy restaurant or a spin class, I feel the pressure to just film every single second of it, because it's content. It's that girl content. You can use it for TikTok. People love to see it, and that's great. But the downside to that is just not enjoying the moment. Like, you don't get to enjoy your food as much if you're just trying to film so much of it. By the time you eat it, it gets cold. Or working out and film, like, literally not only the pressure of having people to like watching you film yourself in the gym, which, by the way, if you want to do that, totally do that. Like, own it, respect it. But like, if you're doing it to the extent where you're just stressing yourself out and you don't enjoy what you're doing, I think that's not cool. Like, have you ever been on a trip where you spent the majority of the time filming or taking content or taking pictures? Like, you're not in it fully. The best moments I have are the moments where I forget to take out a camera. My boyfriend and I were talking about this over Christmas, and he said, "Oh my God, I had so much fun. I would have absolutely loved if you took candid photos or videos of us during those moments." And I was like, first off, iconic and totally true, and that's why I love my boyfriend, because we are both content people. I was going to say girlies, and I totally can. We're both content girlies. We love we're all about the photo ops, we're all about like the video, but at the same time, we really also like being present and being away from that. And at the moment where I was like, oh, that would have been so great. And then we're like, actually, if we are enjoying ourselves so much that we didn't even think to take a single video when hanging out with those friends, that's a pretty darn great thing. Because in today's society, with all the millennials and Gen Zs, that's the first thing we do when the food comes. We just go and take an Instagram story or a whatever, a TikTok, be real when it comes out. Like, that's such a total norm nowadays. But what's not a norm is to literally never look at your phone for full 5 hours you're hanging out with friends. So in those times, like when that actually happens, I feel like that is so amazing and so genuine. So in all, I think what is out is the pressure to film everything you're doing. Sometimes just let yourself enjoy the moment. You don't have to share it with everybody, and it's okay to lose out on a super cool photo op if it means you can have more peace or enjoy that activity more thoroughly when you're doing it. Okay, so now let's talk about how we can actually become that girl when taking the pressure off. So we have more of the ins and less of the outs. Here are my tips. So first of all, let's talk about exercise. We've established that girl usually is super into the gym, super into working out, lifting those weights every single day at 6 a.m. That is absolutely not for me. If it is for you and you can do that and enjoy it, good for you. Keep it up. I wish. Can you give me your tips? But for the girlies who want to be fit and have a fitness routine to an extent, that are also super busy, that cannot maintain a 7-day-a-week workout schedule, these are the tips for you. And my number one tip is find an exercise routine that works for you, that you can keep up. And how can you do this? Well, first of all, I talked about this in my episode 1 podcast of how to elevate your life in 2023. Find activities that you enjoy, you actually enjoy, whether it be swimming or joining a dance class or even simply just going for a hike or a walk. Those are ways you can incorporate exercise into your daily routine that are actually enjoyable to you. They don't feel like work. One thing I do sometimes is walk on the treadmill and read. I get 2 goals done at once, and oh my gosh, I totally feel like that girl. It's like that girl times 2. She reads and she works out at the same time. It's amazing. So find whatever the equivalent of that is for you. Okay, so the next tip I have for being that girl is taking small, sustainable steps. So figure out like that macro level goal or that thing that is like so that girl, and figure out how to actually make it sustainable for you, because not everybody can afford to drink green juice in the morning. Me in particular, I wanted to be like starting off the new year feeling like that girl, so I bought these green juices. I'm also on video for those of you who would like to watch. I'm on YouTube, but for those of you who are listening on Apple Music or Spotify, I am holding the Boathouse Farms Green Goodness green juice. It's 1 liter, and this was about $5.95 Canadian. So I have not tried this yet. I'm sure it's going to be amazing, and I'm going to totally feel like that girl. But for those of you who can't afford to buy green juice like this every few days, and you also don't want to buy that green juice powder, that is okay. You don't have to be drinking your green juice every single day to be that girl. You could do something as simple as taking your Keurig ice like coffee and putting ice in it, putting some milk in it or whatever creamer you have, and being that girl that way. Or just take water. You don't even have to go as far as buying fresh lemon. You can literally squeeze the lemon juice into the water. The lemon juices that are like 99 cents in that like fake lemon container. Squeeze them in there with some water, put a little metal straw in, and there you go. You can feel like that girl for cheap. You do not have to do the most to be that girl. Another thing is, I love seeing the acai bowls, all these fancy salads, but I do not have the time to cut all these veggies up every single day for lunch, nor do I have the budget for that, because fresh produce is so expensive here in Canada. It is insane. So something I'm going to try out is frozen healthy meals. I know most of you are probably going to X off this podcast right now when you hear me suggest this, but hear me out. Right now I'm holding the Healthy Choice Simply Steamers Chicken and Vegetable Stir Fry, which is literally a microwavable thing. You pop it in the microwave for 4.5 minutes, and then you have a whole vegetable stir fry. Now, I know that the sodium content on this is outrageous. Right now, this one dish, it is 21% sodium or 480 milligrams, which is a lot. But hear me out. If you are not eating healthy and you're struggling like me, if you're ordering Uber Eats every single day for lunch or making yourself ramen noodles for lunch, and you feel bad about it and you want to be that girl, but you just can't either keep up with the amount of effort or the price tag, you can still be that girl for cheap. To me, eating something like this, you put it in a little bamboo bowl off Amazon, you feel like that girl, it looks like that girl, nobody knows the difference, and it's better than eating McDonald's every day. So making small steps like this, it's something you can easily do into your everyday life. It makes you feel like that girl, but it's easy and it's affordable for the young people out there wanting to be that girl, but they're not making $100,000. And let me just mention that this entire entree is 190 calories. So I will update you guys on if this actually fills me up and how I'm doing, and I will let you know how I feel about this. I honestly am going to try a bunch of different ones of these and see if it helps me be and feel like that girl. The next thing that is also food related is making healthy snacks that are easy, convenient, and healthy. And something I'm going to try out is egg bites. I don't know about you, but all of the girls that are that girl on TikTok have like the best breakfasts with like their morning coffee and their journals. I don't have time. I do not eat breakfast, and it is horrible to say, but I usually wake up in the morning, get ready, do a little bit of cleaning, and start working because I work from home, and I don't eat until like 12, sometimes even 1 if I get really busy. And that is something I am not claiming in 2023. I am going to become that girl and actually eat breakfast. But how? Because I'm telling you, I am not going to make the acai bowls every single morning. We already established that. So what is a way I can become that girl that is sustainable and tailors to my very, very fast, very convenient lifestyle? That is egg bites. Hear me out. I used to do this all the time when I was trying to lose weight and be healthy for prom. I used to take a muffin tin, spray it with butter or Pam. I know, okay, so healthy, spray it with butter, but like a little bit. You can do it with Pam spray just so it doesn't stick. Take an egg, like a bowl, mix some eggs there, make it like you're making an omelet, maybe some cheese, but I would probably opt out if you're trying to avoid dairy. Sprinkle some green onion in there or whatever you want, and pour it into the egg tins or like the muffin tins, and it makes little egg bites. So they're like little egg muffins. You pop them in the microwave in the morning, like 2, and there you go. You have an easy, convenient, healthy breakfast that you didn't even have to do anything for. It literally just takes the effort of doing it once, putting it, like just washing the dish after you're done, and you're good to go. So that's something I'm going to actually start doing. I'm going to meal prep like once or twice a week, depending on how many egg bites I eat in a week, and start eating breakfast and feel like that girl. It might not look aesthetic. You don't have to take pictures of your breakfast every morning. You can take pictures of your little healthy steamer lunches in the cute little bamboo bowls, and that's one post a day, and you're good. You're good. So that is a tip I have for you. Okay, so now let's talk about the self-care side of being that girl. Self-care is something that like that girl on TikTok always does, and usually it looks like fancy bathrooms with big, marble bathtubs and all these fancy skincare products, and that is kind of me to an extent, but not fully. Like, I live in a very nice condo on the outskirts of Toronto, so when you live in a condo, usually you have like pools and fancy lobbies and often nicer bathrooms. But mine's really small. I have a gorgeous deep soaker tub, but my bathroom's tiny to the point where I have an IKEA stand that holds all of my bath bombs, which are not always from Lush. I love Lush bath bombs, and I'm totally a fan of treating yourself because I think like they really make you feel like you're having a moment, like you're that girl. But who can afford a $10 bath bomb every single time they take a bath? If you're taking a bath as frequently as I do, which is like once a week. So here you can have how you can become that girl. Bubble bath. You can literally go to the dollar store, get yourself some bubble bath, get yourself some Epsom salts, sprinkle it in the bath, light a candle. You can also get that from the dollar store, thrift it, or you can get your fancy candles if you really want to treat yourself. A great birthday gift to ask for, and make yourself a vibe. Set a vibe. Play that really relaxing music. Enjoy your bath. Maybe dim the lights a little bit. Read in the bath. Do a little face mask and enjoy it. You can do the absolute most without expending the absolute most, if you get my drift. With that being said, although that is totally that girl, and it feels so good to just relax and take a moment to really focus on yourself and just shut off the world, essentially, that is great for self-care. But there is nothing I love more than ordering Uber Eats, locking myself in my bedroom with comfy blankets, bringing the food into bed, and watching a comfort film or like Emily in Paris and eating food. I don't know what is so healing about it, but it is truly a moment. Whenever I do that, I just feel so safe and so happy to be in my own little bubble. I find movies and shows, especially comfort films like The Holiday with Cameron Diaz or The Click, the 2000s movie, anything with Elwoods, anything with Elwoods, legal, because she's a real person, of course, but anything like Legally Blonde, comfort films for sure. That's a moment too. So, I feel like the premise behind that girl is to just feel like your best self. And if your best self really wants to lock yourself in your room for a night, watch a movie or two with some junk food, that's okay. I feel like it's all about balance. Do those self-care moments that are, really healing for you and contribute to just a better, outer body image, like, those girls who like really like the that girl shower, like that shower where you shave your entire body, you do like an exfoliating like scalp massage and a deep condition and exfoliate your entire body, that feels amazing, and you come out and you feel great. But then it's totally okay to slather on some body lotion and hop into bed and watch a comfort film, and maybe you ate your healthy little lunch in the morning and your egg bites, and maybe just have a little unhealthy snack and watch your comfort film. It's all about balance, and that's totally okay. So I'm here to tell you, you can still be that girl even on the days you don't feel like being one. Just because you take a few days off for your own mental health, if you are struggling or you're just not feeling that girl vibes, you didn't lose all your progress. Like, trust me, like, it's okay to give yourself the grace. The other tip I have for being that girl is to listen to podcasts. So congratulations. If you are listening to me, you're already on the step or on the good roads to becoming that girl. I find podcasts are so motivating, especially if you find ones that give helpful tips, but also are just kind of real, because it makes you feel good about yourself, if that makes sense. And that's the premise behind my, this Get Up and Glow podcast. I want to give realistic tips to be your best self, but in ways that are easy, sustainable, and affordable for young women in their 20s, so you can feel like the best version of you while also feeling like you. Because the premise behind self-growth is not to turn yourself into somebody else that you see on TikTok, but to be yourself and enjoy the things that you actually enjoy doing, while also incorporating healthy habits into your life that can set yourself up to be the best version of you as an individual. Okay, and the last tip I have for being that girl is to do the journaling. We see this all over TikTok for like the that girl aesthetic, and I totally can get behind it. I feel like doing the self-reflecting and doing the work to heal your mind is worth it every time. Therapy is great, all for it. I'm not in therapy, but I do take the time to try, and especially when I feel myself in rougher seasons of life, like throughout November and December of 2022 was a rough time. Journal, it is so great. The journal I used to use, and I still do, is called Present Not Perfect. I got it from Amazon for like $8, and it is really good. It has just little writing prompts, and it has cute little colorful messages. And whenever I feel a little overwhelmed or feel stressed out, I take a few moments to like fill out this journal, and it really does help reset my perspective and shift my mindset to a more positive one. But I am so excited to announce that I actually finally got the 5-minute journal that is everywhere on TikTok. So yes, I am feeling like that girl. And I know I said don't buy things to make yourself feel like that girl, but I didn't break the rule. I didn't buy it. I got gifted it for Christmas. So exciting. Mine is pink, which, if you guys don't know, pink is my absolute favorite color. I used to only wear pink and white, and creams permanently for almost 2 years. I wouldn't even buy anything if it wasn't pink or cream. And over the last year, I kind of revamped my style and didn't want to withhold myself from all the other colors just because I wanted to brand myself as this pink girly. But I am the pink girly. So I am so excited to write in this 5-minute journal. I have not started it yet, but I plan on starting to do it every single day and keep, just 5 minutes of time, whether it be in the morning or night. I'm not going to set myself up to an exact time, but once a day for 5 minutes a day, I'm going to dedicate that to journaling. And I think that is super productive. And I would totally suggest you do that. You don't even have to have a fancy book. You can get out your notepad on your phone and just write the ins and outs of your day, like Massey Block. What went well? What didn't went well or go well? You can even do it in the morning and say, set your 3 intentions for the day, which is literally what this book is. Summing your 3 things you're grateful for, 3 things that would make today great, your daily affirmation, the highlights of the day, and what you learned today. You don't need to buy this book to do these affirmations. You can literally just do it on a notepad, and it does the same thing. Although I will say it feels so that girl and feels so nice to have the physical book, to take little videos and pictures of it and write in the journal. But if you can't afford it, I just gave you the writing prompts. You can do that on a piece of paper, on your notes, and you go, girl. Okay, so the last thing I want to chat about is grace, not perfection. This is my favorite saying because I am a perfectionist and I hold myself to a standard of wanting to be perfect in every single way possible, and that is not attainable. So I always try to remind myself that it's about grace or progress, not about perfection. It's all in the journey, and that is the beautiful thing about life, because often we look back on our lives and we think that, I'll be happy if I just get to here. And once you get to here, you realize that growing up or like getting to where you are was so much fun that you almost miss it. And it's great to like achieve your goals, but I honestly think the true beauty of it is to just enjoy every season of life you're in, even if you're in the bad ones. Because I look back on bad moments, and I'm not saying I want to be in there because I am still healing from some rough times the last few months. But with that being said, everything that you experience is for a reason, and it's to teach you or put you on the path of becoming the person that you're supposed to or you're destined to become. So give yourself the grace if you fail. If you want to work out twice a week and you don't that week because you are overwhelmed with your job, that is okay. Give yourself the grace. Nobody's perfect. Sometimes in order to be that girl, you need to slow down and focus on you. Because at the end of the day, if your battery is at 0%, like what is a use of a phone at 0? That's dead, right? Like a phone has so much power and you can do so much on it. But if it is dead and you don't have a phone charger, it's just a phone, like a useless device that you can't go on. If in like that super cheesy analogy, I'm essentially just saying that if you can't be that girl and you want to just spend maybe 3 days in bed watching your comfort films after work instead of working out, making your egg bites, preparing for a good week, that's okay. And you can still be that girl by doing that. Because at the end of the day, if you have to prioritize your own mental well-being first, and I know it's easier for us girls in our 20s to say, if we have any moms listening, I know they're probably being like, I can't because I have children to take care of. And to you, I say, super moms, I totally respect that. Try to reach out to anybody that can support you and try to take a few moments of time a few minutes a day for yourself. I know that can be hard, especially for people who are a lot busier than only having a side hustle and a 9-to-5. But just try to give yourself grace, and wherever you can, incorporate time and moments for self-care. And finally, I'd like to conclude on the why behind being that girl. Like, why do you want to become that girl? Is it because you want to feel, it's because you want to get your life together? Or is it because you want to be healthier or be the best version of you? Or is it because it's a pretty aesthetic that you want to share on social and have people think that you're that girl? That is a valid reason to be that girl. And I'm not going to lie, let's be real. It's probably a lot of people's like underlying premise of why they want to be that girl. But make sure it's also a why deeper than that, like something that you can actually resonate with for yourself too, because that's what's going to motivate you to continue to keep up with these healthy habits. And just a reminder that going back to my ins and outs, keep the good parts that make you feel good about the that girl trend, and the stuff that makes you feel bad, ignore it. You have the power to redefine that girl to whatever you want that girl to be, because that's what that girl would do. She would set the trends. She would make her own rules. So you do that. You cherry pick. Go ahead. It's not hurting anyone. Cherry pick the best parts of being that girl for you, and the others throw out the window. That's what I did. Those are my tips that are kind of that girl, but also completely anti, because I know I literally recommended a frozen healthy meal for lunches. But if you like this podcast and you like the advice and the actual like genuine chats of how to be the best version of you in your 20s that is real, follow me for more. I am on social. I'm on YouTube. You can watch this podcast with a video if you're interested at Get Up and Glow. And I'm also on Instagram at that Get Up and Glow podcast. And I'm on TikTok called Get Up and Glow. All of those socials are linked in the description for the podcast. So if you're interested in getting even more content from me, follow me on there. And until next episode, thank you so much for listening. I had so much fun chatting with you guys. I hope you have a lovely week and you go into it feeling like that girl, because secret, you already are. Bye, everyone.